What's your name and when were you here?
Adrian Trotman, and I started as 11-year-old in 1939, September, just as the war broke out.
Okay. And were you day pupil or a boarder?
Oh, a day boy. Trotman, travelling by train, Trotman to Pontyclean, or Llantrisant, and then you change onto a small train, engine, 2 carriages, and come to Cowbridge, top end of Cowbridge.
So quite a journey then.
It was a journey.
Were there many other pupils doing the same journey with you?
Oh yes, quite a lot from Llanharan, Pontyclean, and then quite a number would join the train at Llanharan, and it posed problems. You see, in those days we had Wednesday morning school and Saturday morning school, and you catch the 12:30 train from top of the town here and change trains in Pontyclean to go on to Llanharan, and that involved waiting for the train coming from Cardiff. Now the trains from Cardiff had to wait for the trains coming from London, and if there was a blitz, then those trains would be 2 hours late, you see, 3 hours late. And so we'd be stranded in Llantrisant for all that period of time, on quite a number of Wednesdays and Saturdays during the early part of the war.
So did you ever get into trouble for being late all day?
I think today youngsters would have pulled the place apart, but we were quite reasonably well behaved. We used to walk then. People would give you lifts in those days, so we'd walk from Pontyclean to Llanharan, which is 6-7 miles perhaps. Or get off the train at Llanharan and walk from Llanharan to Llanharan.
Okay, did you, as a day boy, did you feel there was a difference between, or a divide between yourselves and the boarders, or was there this camaraderie?
No, it was a good feeling, particularly if you played sport, you see.
Right, so you were a sportsman then?
Yes. Yeah.
So was it all rugby then, or cricket?
Yes, when Mr. Rees came, I think in the early 30s, you had hockey, one term, football, cricket, but when Mr. Rees came, it was Welsh International. It was 2 terms rugby, 1 term cricket, summer-term cricket.
And you enjoyed that?
Yes.
Good. So going back to that point, is Adrian Rees, was it Adrian Rees?
Yes.
Yes. So he was the headmaster at the time. What are your memories of him?
Oh, well, what I should tell you, in 1939, you see, most of the staff were young men, and as a result, most of the staff had to go to the forces, so we were left with temporary staff. A lot were disasters. One member of staff didn't return. Mr. Harford taught classics, he was killed. But Mr. Rees went to the RAF, and the PE and geography master was Les Manfield. He died recently. He was a Welsh international at the time, played for Cardiff. He was a really good player. He took us in sport. And several of the other masters left. The problem was, you see, that the appointments made would be temporary, so that those people knew that when the war finished, they'd lose their jobs because these other men would come back. You see. But there was quite a large proportion of the staff went, unusually large.
So did that make a big, was there a big feeling of change when it changed over, when the old lot of staff left and the new ones came in?
I think life was exciting and kids didn't bother much, you know. They just took it as it came.
Good. Okay, so we've established that you're into sport. What about other subjects, academic subjects, music, physics?
Yeah.
What were your favourite ones?
Physics I hated. Mainly, God rest his holy dead, I didn't like the chap taking it, but another character, J.D. Owen, he became the assistant head during the war when Edward went, temporary head rather. He was the senior master, and the senior member of staff would take over the headship. That was accepted in those days, and J.D. Owen took chemistry. He was all right, you know, but never saw him much because he had to tend to headmaster's duty.
Great. Do you have any favourite memories of either, well, anything that really stands out in your mind when you think about being in the buildings or went back in those days?
Yes. The air raid warning siren was at the town hall, you see, and if that went, the two junior forms were across this side. They would have to move into the corridor. It was dark with no windows, which of course I suppose the idea. And in Old Hall, you went downstairs to a large cloakroom and put the shutters up and waited. But sometimes it was a great thing because you might be waiting for a Latin test or something, and the air raid siren was worse, so you'd get away with that, you see. But the other thing, the school was controlled really by the bell. You see the bell tower above here. All class changes were run by the bell. And the other thing I remembered during the early part of the war was when the sirens went, the prefects, the chap, they seemed big men to me, George Pratt and Gwynn and people like that, they ran downtown because they were members of the Home Guard, you see, and they were the prefects, sixth form priests in those days.
Fun times, good times.
Well, I think that, as a young person who didn't realise, it's only now after the war when you see all these documentaries on television that you realise how near to disaster we were, I suppose.
Yes.